What is up, guys? This is Lynn Theo coming here to a discussion today in kind of a video response to MegaCapitalG, who spoke about Solemn Warning and its playability now in the meta and kind of just how it is nowadays. Straight off the bat, Solemn Warning is one of the most prolific trap cards in this game and has been for a very long time. The card is just absolutely amazing and is on par with Solemn Judgment as those Solemn cards are amazing. Solemn Authority, however, He spoke about the whole kind of ideal that Solemn Warning isn't played anymore because the three main decks, Shadows, Burning Abyss and Cleaforths, really just push so much damage on board that it's not actually that decent to actually have a Solemn Warning in your deck anymore, because you're probably going to lose the life points before you even get to it, or if you do get to it, you only have 6,000 life points for them to take out. Now, maybe it's different over here in Europe, but a lot of people still do play Solemn Warning, and while he did touch on the point that Cleaforths, with obviously their skill drains and their tool searches, they are using a lot of life points. So adding in a Solemn Warning that gets rid of 2,000 life points is a little bit too steep on the life point cost. Now, while that is true, I don't really see Cleaforths utilizing Solemn Warning anyway. So I think it's just that's because that's how the deck runs. We look at Burning Abyss, they could run Solemn Warning in my opinion, and some do. I think Solemn Warning is a good card in Burning Abyss, and Shadows is more of an aggressive type turbo build now that I've been seeing a lot more. There's no real control aspect of it, it's just more push as much damage on board as quickly as possible, because they can do that. But if we break down the card, if we look at the three top meta decks and what Solemn Warning is good at, Solemn Warning is still a great card, and when it is used correctly at the most opportune time, it is devastating. It can really stop your opponent in their tracks. You're against Cleaforths, they summon their first Cleaforth monster. You don't want a Solemn Warning that. There's no point. Good times that you want to really catch your opponent out is when they tribute summon that disc. That is huge. You want to stop that. Or when they pendulum summon, stop that. Because those pendulum monsters do not go back to the extra deck. They go to the graveyard because they've been completely destroyed and they haven't even hit the field yet. That's how Solemn Warning works, and it's amazing like that. Solemn Warning is a great pendulum counter, and that's why I think it's still good against that deck. But you have to use it correctly, because they're not going to win with one Cleaforth monster beating you down with a sacrifice. That just isn't going to happen, because you will have outs to it. Even if you have a turbo deck, I'm pretty much guaranteed you're going to be able to get over a 2-1 in 4 turns, because that's how much it's basically going to take them to kill you. Shadows is a little bit of a more difficult one. You can't use it on when they summon a monster of Shadow Fusion. You have to do it on the activation of Shadow Fusion itself. Now, problems that this can actually encounter is that if they have 2 Shadow Fusions in their hand, they can activate the other one because Solemn Warning negates the activation of it. So that is kind of a little bit of a problem, but it's still, you need to just play it cleverly. You can argue that you don't want to use Solemn Warning against Shadows, but that's completely fine. It just depends, and it's about the understanding of the deck. With Burning Abyss, that is a bit of a difficult one as well, because Dante, you do not really want a Solemn Warning Dante because they're still going to get the plus off the effect because it's destroyed and going to the graveyard. One problem that I do have, and I wish that it didn't have this text, but Solemn Warning says negate and destroy the monster that is summoned. And that destroy part is huge, because it was a big thing when the hands came out. Obviously when the hands, you Solemn Warning a hand, it's going to get its effect, unless you do it in the graveyard, because that's different, because then it is trying to summon a monster, it's already been destroyed, it's activating its actual summon effect, and that's a completely different matter. But some people did activate it on the summon, physical summon of that monster, and not the summoning activation effect. Solemn Warning is still a great card in my opinion. It's going to be in this game for a very long time in my opinion. I really wouldn't see why it would get forbidden. I don't see that. If anything, I would see it coming back up to maybe semi-limited, because at the end of the day, 4,000 life points is a lot. And in this certain game, where the game is a lot quicker, where the creep is quite high, people might not play 2 copies of it because it's a very fast game state currently. Unless you're playing a Protect the Castle deck, in other words, Evil Swans or anything like that, that can really slow your opponent down, that can control your opponent, 4,000 life points isn't technically that much against you. If we look to the future, and the cloths that are coming out, it's going to be interesting to see what will happen to Solemn Warning, because yes, you can Solemn Warning, obviously the ritual summons, but the cloths are a very, very quick deck, and at the end of the day, you activate Solemn Warning, they're just probably going to power through you still. You have to find the key cards to stop. And that is basically what I think Solemn Warning has come down to now. It's a card that you need to really play correctly. You cannot just use it like a bottomless or a deep resin as a, well, it's fine, I'm just getting rid of this one monster for now. You need to be very precise and clever the way you activate it. So I want to know what you guys think of Solemn Warning in this meta and the card itself. Do you think that it has a place in the meta, or do you think it's more just going to go down to those tier 2 decks and just stay there because it has no real place anymore? So as I said, let me know down in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe, and I should catch you guys later.